All right, Malik, let's kick it off with something that trips up a lot of people. Everyone chases motivation, but it fizzles fast. Why do you think motivation is so unreliable when it comes to real, lasting change?
Man, motivation is like a caffeine shot. It gives you a quick boost, but it crashes hard. You can't depend on a feeling that changes with the weather. When life hits, you need something deeper discipline, rooted in purpose, keeps you moving when motivation doesn't show up.
Exactly. Studies show 92% of New Year's resolutions fail because people depend on hype, not habits. So, how do you personally shift from chasing motivation to building discipline?
For me, it's about setting routines that don't care how I feel. Like, I've got a playbook prayer in the morning, gym before work, and scripture before bed. Those habits run on autopilot, not emotion. It's like brushing your teeth, you just do it. No hype needed.
Let's dive deeper. You call discipline your invisible muscle. Walk us through that analogy. How does building discipline compare to training in the gym?
Just like you can't see your core muscles, but they hold everything together, discipline is the foundation that supports your whole life. You don't always see instant results, but over time, you're stronger in every area, spiritually, mentally, physically.
I love that. And just like with fitness, there's pain in process, right? Sometimes discipline is just plain uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Hebrews 12:11 says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful." In other words, it burns. But just like soreness after a workout, that pain means you're growing. You've got to be willing to feel the burn for the harvest later.
Let's transition. How does your faith set the tone for your routines and consistency, especially on tough days?
Faith is like my anchor. When I wake up tired or discouraged, I remember I'm not just grinding for me, I'm stewarding what God gave me. That sense of stewardship makes even small routines feel sacred. It's bigger than ego or aesthetics. It's about honoring God daily.
That's powerful. So, for listeners struggling with consistency, would you say connecting their habits to a higher purpose can help them stick to it?
100%. If your why is just surface level, it'll fade. But when your actions are an act of worship or obedience, you get a whole new level of drive, even on the rough days.
Speaking of routines, you mentioned fasting and tithing as forms of discipline. Can you unpack how spiritual habits translate to everyday strength?
For sure, it's training my willpower. If I can say no to food, I can say no to temptation or laziness. Tithing is similar. Putting God first in my finances builds trust and self-control. These practices leak into other areas, making me resilient. Exactly. The more you invest in those disciplines, the more it pays off in patience, grit, and faith. You're building a spiritual muscle memory that kicks in when life gets hard.
Let's get practical. When motivation is gone, systems save the day. What's your blueprint for building routines that stick, even when you're not feeling it?
I'm big on triggers and cues. For example, my gym clothes are by the door every night, reminder to get moving. I set alarms for prayer and block time for meal prep. It's about reducing friction, so there's no excuse.
Studies show habits form best when linked to specific cues. So you're hacking your own behavior, one routine at a time.
That's it. It's not about being perfect, it's about making the right choice easier, over and over, until it's second nature.
Let's switch gears. Social media makes it easy to compare our journey to others. How do you stay focused on your own path instead of getting discouraged by someone else's highlights?
It's tough, bro, but I remind myself everybody's in a different season. What you see online is the harvest, not the grind. I focus on sowing my own seeds, trusting God with the results. Comparison distracts you from your assignment.
So true. And comparison can kill your confidence before you even get started.
Stay in your lane, water your own grass, and let God handle the growth. That's where peace is.
Let's talk crossover. How do you blend faith and fitness so they fuel each other instead of pulling you in different directions?
I see my workouts as worship. Taking care of my body is honoring God's temple. When I want to quit, I remember it's not just about six-packs, it's about stewardship. The discipline I build in the gym helps me pray harder and serve stronger outside it.
That's a game changer. Most folks see spiritual and physical goals as separate lanes, but you're saying they're intertwined, right?
Absolutely. When you integrate them, progress in one area multiplies your strength in the other. It's holistic living. Faith fuels fitness, and fitness sharpens faith.
Setbacks happen: injury, burnout, unanswered prayers. How do you keep your faith strong when life throws curveballs and progress stalls?
Setbacks used to shake me, but now I see them as part of God's training plan. Every setback is a setup for growth. I look for lessons, not losses. Sometimes, the pause is God's way of protecting or redirecting you. Faith is trusting Him, even when the scoreboard looks rough.
Love that mindset. So instead of quitting, you pivot and persevere. That's discipline in action.
Exactly. The goal isn't a perfect streak, it's bouncing back, stronger and wiser. That's where real growth happens.
Let's get to the heart of the episode. You say don't just chase success, become someone God can trust with it. What does that look like practically?
It's about character over clout. If God can't trust you with a little, like showing up on time, handling money, serving others, why would He give you more? Discipline proves you can handle blessings responsibly. It's not about earning favor, but showing you're ready for more.
So your daily decisions, big or small, are like interview questions for your next level?
Exactly. Faithfulness in the small things sets you up for elevation. God's looking for good stewards, not just big dreamers. Start small, pick one habit and tie it to your faith. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier to pray, or prepping meals as an act of stewardship. Don't wait for motivation, just choose consistency.
That's gold. And remember, discipline isn't overnight. Compound those small wins and watch God multiply the growth.
Exactly. Just keep sowing, keep showing up, and trust God with the results. That's how you build a life He can bless.